now I'm going to ask Monique to come up, and tell us how the work San Jose has been doing, particularly around increasing AP and IB participation, which really is that part of that idea of getting more kids to have that higher academic intensity preparation and have those challenging classes, which are critical. So
hi everyone, my name is Monique Kanye, and I work for San Jose Unified School District in Northern California. Our school district has about 30,000 students, half of which are Hispanic and half of which are Florida lunch, and about a quarter of our students are English learners. San Jose Unified is preparing today's students to be the thinkers, leaders, and creators of tomorrow. So what does that mean for our district? It means that we're not just focusing on graduating our students in high school, but we're also focusing on post-secondary success. And one of the ways that we focus on post-secondary success is enrolling more students in AP, IB, or IB courses. So let me give a little bit of background for any of those who don't know, especially about IB. So AP classes are advanced placement classes developed by the College Board, and at the end of the class you can take an exam and possibly get college credit for the course. International Baccalaureate is a very similar program. You can take an exam at the end of that course and also get college credit. At the end of taking a series of IB courses, you can also get a special IB diploma that is also recognized by many schools. So if you pass a certain number of classes and a certain number of tests, you can get this IB diploma. So the idea of this program is to improve AP and IB participation and performance for all student demographic groups, and especially for our low-income and Hispanic students. The idea is that if we focus on AP IB courses and a rigorous curriculum, we'll improve college-going outcomes. So why did our school district decide to focus on encouraging more students to enroll in AP IB? For about the last 5 years, our graduation rate has hovered around 90% for all of our students, including our different subgroups. So we're doing a great job at graduating our kids from high school. But if you look at college-going rates, 71% enroll in any sort of post-secondary institution right after high school, and 57% of our Hispanic students, which is half of our kids, are enrolling in post-secondary right after high school. So we're getting more students, we're getting most of our kids to graduate from high school, but we still need to focus on getting those kids into a post-secondary institution after they graduate. As Bob mentioned as well, we know from the research that if students enroll in at least one rigorous course in their first 2 years of high school, it can substantially increase their chances of graduating from high school and also graduating from a four-year school. So the idea is if we get them into some sort of rigorous course, at least one, that's the focus, then we can help them after they graduate. So how do we recruit these students into these AP and IB courses? So one way that we do recruitment is school-wide. We have presentations in all of our homeroom classrooms to talk about the AP and IB program. We also have college nights for parents to come learn about these courses. And we also have discussions with students as they're signing up for courses the next year. But more than that, we also focus on recruiting students one-on-one. So how do we do that? So we have developed an AP/IB essentially success model. And we try to find students who are likely to be successful in AP/IB courses. How do we do that? We looked at our graduation rates from college and looked at those students' characteristics in high school and what characteristics in high school helped them graduate from college within 6 years. And what we found was that, and what metrics we had, was GPA, attendance, and their PSAT, SAT scores had an impact on whether they were successful in college. We give the PSAT and SAT to all of our students, just for context. So we use that information to say, if you have success in these, you're likely to be successful in an AP course. So kids who show up on this list who have success in these other areas but are not signed up for an AP class, we go have a one-on-one meeting with you and say, hey, you are likely to be successful in APIB because look at how well you're doing, your grades are great, your test scores are great, you're showing up to school. And we also have seen this to work really well because we also have teacher recommendations. So the teachers also recommend the students. So in that meeting we can say, hey, your grades are great, this looks great, and your teacher recommended you for this course. Well, what does that look like once the kid's actually in the course? Because we've done a really great job of getting the kids in the course, but we also want them to be successful once they enroll. One thing we found was that students drop out once the school year starts. So we got them to enroll, we got all these kids to enroll, and the summer happens and they're like, yeah, I don't know. I think I don't want to take that class. It sounds really hard. So what we set up were AP/IB contracts. So essentially before the end of the school year, they have to sign a contract saying unless there's extenuating circumstances, I'm going to stay in this class. And they also, all the kids who are going to enroll in each of the AP classes, they meet with their teacher. So to better understand what is the curriculum, what are the expectations for that class, so they really actually know what they're getting into before they sign up. We also had pushback from teachers because it's, wow, we're getting all more of these kids into these classes. We don't think they're prepared. We're worried about helping them succeed in these classes. So we've provided a lot of professional development for our teachers, and we've done a lot of work with outside partners. For example, we partner with the National Math and Science Institute to provide training and support for our AP STEM teachers. We also partnered with West Ed and Microsoft to provide professional development for our AP computer science teachers. We have Microsoft employees who actually go in to classrooms every day with our AP computer science teachers and help them and provide that support. We also provide support for students outside the classroom. So at some schools, they provided an extra support counselor, so they hired a teacher to do extra duty, who ends up doing one-on-one with support with students that we think may need extra help in these classes. We also provided after-school support. We've also had summer camp, or summer kind of like boot camp thing to help kids before the school year starts. And we've also done, one of our schools does this YMCA boot camp thing where they all go into the woods and they study for AP together and they have a big bonding experience. So that's kind of one of the things we also do. And then we have advisory periods where students can go ask for specific help. So what does this look like in terms of our results? In the last 5 years, we've been able to increase the number of free reduced lunch students enrolled in APIB by 10 percentage points. And we've been able to increase the number of Hispanic students enrolled in APIB by 16 percentage points. So we've increased the number of kids who are enrolling in those courses. We also have about 200 more students every year pass the APIB exams. So the same percentage of kids have been passing the APIB exams, but more kids are passing. So the rigor hasn't changed. The same percentage of kids are passing, just more of them are passing because we're pushing more kids into these classes. Another thing that we've done around this is if you turn in your free reduced lunch form, you get 2 AP or IB tests for $5. Doesn't matter if you qualify for low income, you get it for $5. The reason we do this is that there's a big stigma around turning in your free reduced lunch form in high school. So we try to erase that stigma. Everybody turns it in, it doesn't matter. You want the test for $5, you do that. It also encourages more kids to just try. Just try, it doesn't matter, just try taking the test. So that has helped get more kids taking the test. So what does it look like after they graduate? For our 2017-18 high school graduates, if they enrolled in at least one AP or IB course their junior year, 53% of them went to a 4-year. 30% went to a 2-year, and 17% didn't have a college record. For kids who didn't enroll in any AP or IB classes their junior year, only 14% went to a 4-year. 47% went to a 2-year, and 38% had no college record. So it dramatically increased the number of kids going to a four-year, and it also increased the number of kids who went to college in general, just went to any sort of school after graduating. So as I mentioned, half of our population is Hispanic students. So what does it actually look like for Hispanic students? Hispanic students who enrolled in at least one AP or IB course their junior year, 29% went to a four-year, 47% went to a two-year, and 23% had no college record. If they didn't enroll in AP IB, only 5% went to a four-year. 47% to a two-year, and almost half didn't go to college. So the idea is that if we can focus on getting more students into at least one rigorous class, their junior and senior year, then we are able to help them be successful and more likely to enroll in these post-secondary institutions. But what does this actually mean in terms of the actual kids signing up for these courses and actually making a difference in the lives of kids? So, I was turning this presentation into my boss to show her what I was presenting at this conference. And the secretary looks at the presentation and she's like, Monique, did you know that's me? And she's like, yeah, I graduated 5 years ago, the first year of your program. And so I was like, oh, okay, I had no idea. I didn't even know she went to one of our high schools. And so I ended up talking to her for a little bit, and she's like, yeah, I graduated from the IB program. I passed 3 of the IB tests, and I'm a full-time student at San Jose High School. Or at San Jose State. She went to San Jose High School, now she's at San Jose State. And she said, yeah, the one class that I actually had to take a gen ed class for, because the other ones I passed through IB, took me over a year to get in the class. So impacted, took me over a year. But because I had all these IB courses, I'm actually going to graduate on time this spring. So, and by the way, she works full-time and has worked full-time her entire college career because she is also supporting her family. So that really kind of brought home this program, the importance of getting those kids ready and in the spot where they can graduate not only from high school but from college. Thanks.